beautiful people. Happy Wednesday evening. We are here for another episode, number 6 of our Behind the Mic Talk series, brought to you by Your Queens, hosted by the Ann Rant Network. I have another amazing panel for you guys today, and our topic is financial wealth in the Black and Brown community. So we have a great conversation. I want to introduce my amazing guests. Come on. Yes. Look at the beautiful people. So beautiful, kings and queens here. So Your Queens, what we do is we teach about African royalty through storytelling, song, and dance. We evaluate, educate, and express the dynamic lineage of ancient African queens. So what does that mean? We literally dress up like kings and queens, like Amina, Makita, Goddess Isis, King Tut, Queen Nefertiti, and we come and educate you. You can book us for birthday parties, daycare centers, school presentations. We are here for you. But during COVID, we decided to go online and give you these talk series. We started with Behind the Crown, where you get to meet the kings and queens behind your queens and ask us questions, knowing how we are able to provide, be creative, and joy and love, especially during COVID, as well as we started our Behind the Tiara, where you get to meet our young princesses and ask them. We learned so much about our princesses going live, and now we have our Behind the Talk series. Number 6, this is episode 6, and I have the honor to introduce our special guest. I want to start off with Queen Angie, who's been part of Your Queens for the past 2-3 years now, our social media manager. She is a cheerleader of Your Queens, and I'm so happy to have her here today. So Angie, tell the people hello.
Hello, beautiful people. Thank you so much for having me today. I am greatly appreciated of the opportunity. Hi, everyone. My name is Angie. Some people know me as Anjanae. I play Queen Cleopatra in Your Queens, and I am the social media manager. A little bit about myself. What can I say? I recently just became a mom less than 30 days ago. So I'm adjusting to motherhood, and my son is my world. I really didn't think I would have these mushy feelings and be so emotional, but I feel like everything just revolves around him. Like I can't even get mad at anybody because once I see him and he laughs or smiles at me, I just start crying with tears of like joy. So I'm like in that stage of motherhood where I'm just like so happy to embark on this journey. So I'm just like, I don't know. That's it. A little bit. Anything else you want to know about me?
We'll learn some more as we go, mommy, and you are glowing. Many
Thank
blessings to
you.
you and your friends. We love you. Shannon was on the comment. She said, yes, mama.
Hi, Shannon.
Yes. Next up, we have a beautiful assistant all the way from Mississippi. Y'all seen her on here on almost every show. It is McQuavon Mills. Say hello to the people. I think you are on mute. There you go.
Oh, hopefully everyone can hear me. But like you said, I am here in Mississippi. It is almost my 5th year of teaching, and I'm just grateful to be a part of the conversation with such beautiful and dynamic people. I hope everyone enjoys.
Love and appreciate you, Mickey. Next up is one of my dear sisters, Queen Barbara Hernandez. We've known each other since we were teenagers, and I always say she actually has 2 beautiful young girls, Abigail and Natalia, and she's best friends with my sister, so I always say she gave birth to me and my sister because the personalities, we all act the same. So Barbara, I love you. She's also on part of our board of directors, and like I said, mother to 2 of our amazing princesses. So Barbara Hernandez, say hello to our people.
Good evening, beautiful people. Good evening. What a blessing to be part of such an amazing platform. As a board member, it's just to see the work that Your Queens has done and continue to do, just to aim to really just improve our people, just letting us know how great we are, no matter what anyone else may say. And my daughters have been so blessed to be part of this growth and this process over the years. So I'm an educator, It's all about the children, my children, children in the community. I do a lot of work within the community, just trying to, just make sure our kids are staying focused, understanding their value, and just, keeping your eyes on the prize and keeping God first. I'm also a prospective administrator in school to be a principal. So I want to continue doing that work, taking it to the next level. I'm adamant as a teacher. I always tell them I aim high. I'm, very strong and passionate about my expectations, and I will stay the same way as a principal. So, once again, I just feel very blessed to be part of this platform, sharing this platform with beautiful people. And I hope that the word is, spread, and it really allows us to see how much we're able to do as a whole, as a unit. So thank you. Thank you for having me.
Barbara, you just like warmed my heart and just calmed. I was like a little nervous. Sometimes you're like on it, some days you're nervous. I was a little nervous, and you just like, thank you. Warmed my heart on that one. And thank you guys for your time and being here and our beautiful audience. Next up, so it's so important that I keep God first. Thank you, Queen Denise. That's one of our mentors on here. We love and appreciate you. She's actually going to be on Monday. Osa's on here. Thank you, sis. We appreciate you. It's so important that I have people around me that I've known for years, people who are doing dynamic, amazing things, whether from finance or being a mother, actress, teacher, scuba diver, whoever it is. And knowing that we all are building a community together. We see each other. We grow with each other. So with that, I have my beautiful dear friend, Nefertiti Warren, who I've known since, I want to say 2008, maybe 2007, right? Something like that. We got to travel to Nigeria together in 2011 and spend 10 days doing a dance missionary project. And we've just been so connected since then, supporting each other on different projects. So I want to read her bio, and then I would love for her to introduce herself. It's all love. We home. We're vibing out, Nefertiti Warren is a New York-based actress and graduate from the City College of New York. While studying theater there, she performed in many plays, including Gypsy, Woman in Heat, and The School of Scandal. After graduating, she continued to perform in plays off-Broadway, such as Son of the Preacher Man, It Happened on a Monday, and Sexual and Relationships and Sometimes Love, to name a few. And she is also an alum of the Actors Project New York City. Most recently, Nefertiti can be seen in numerous commercials for Scary Mom, Nickelodeon, Chase, and Eyewitness News. Nefertiti is also a writer and has written a multitude of monologues, shorts, and a web series as a member of the Char Actors Acting Company. Did I say that correctly? In addition, she has released her first published book, which I have a special copy, Heart of a Dream, encouraging people to never give up on their dreams, no matter their age, background, or circumstances. I love to introduce Nefertiti Warren.
Thank you, Wawa. Thank you guys for having me. Thank you for inviting me to the show. You guys are all amazing. You're beautiful. I think we've known each other from like a past life. I don't know. It's just every time I come I get all this energy. So like I was tired before this. And then it's like anytime that I'm with Eki, I'm like, ah! So excuse me. It's just the energy she gives off. But yeah, that's who I am. I am a mom too, and Angie, those mushy feelings never go away. I was watching the movie with my mom and I almost cried, and it's like, it's not a movie that you cry at, and my friends make fun of me, but just embrace it. My child is trying to come through the door, so if you see him, don't worry about it. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I'm just happy to be here.
We are happy to have you. We're happy to have you. Thank you, Nefi.
Thank you.
Next up, we have another dear friend of mine, Shaka. I think get out. We all danced together. First of all, we danced together at Emmanuel Baptist Church in Brooklyn. We were part of Temple's Praise Dance Ministries. Such an amazing bond that we look at how you guys are on the same platform. That was not planned. I love it. I love it. So Shaka, I want to read your bio and then talk to us a bit about yourself. He considers himself a financial literacy expert. He's also a clinical social worker, currently participating in activism and community building. Also, as well, he is the founder of the Black Knight program, a chess mentoring program. Let's give it up for Shaka, because having a mentoring program during these times is so important, and we can't wait to get so much knowledge for you, and we appreciate you being here. Take it on. You're welcome.
Well, first off, I thank you for inviting me to such a wonderful platform. I am trying to earn the title of champion in the community. So anything that I can do to help to uplift the community and bring people a little further along so that we can move the needle in such a way that we don't have to continue to reinvent the wheel generation after generation. I thank you for inviting me here, and I look forward to the information that we're going to talk about, the information that's going to be imparted. And most importantly, I pray that this is not just information, but it is acted upon in such a way that changes lives and breaks yokes. I am also a child of God, and God is present in everything that I do, and I acknowledge him and all of his contributions in my life. And I thank you for inviting me here today.
Shaka, we appreciate you, and we give God all the glory. When you speak, it's almost prophetic. I was just like, oh, I'm listening. Y'all felt that? I'm bugging. No, seriously. Thank you for being here. So I want to continue again. If you guys are joining on, we are your queens. We're doing Behind the Talk series. This is our 6th episode, and today we are talking finance. Our topic is financial freedom and generational wealth in the Black community. So we're talking savings, we're talking Black and brown community, we're talking building wealth, we're talking as mothers, their experience, and fathers as well, teaching their children about wealth and why it's so important to build wealth. Hello, Queen Asemoto, we love you. Thank you for being here. And how we continue to build. It's so important that we have these conversations and set a plan and move it across. So if you guys are on here, share this out. Share this out with your family and friends. And let's dig right in, y'all. Y'all ready? I'm about to jump in the first question. Let's go. Let's go. If you feel like you're ready, you can go here, or I can select a person to go first. Shannon says, happy Wednesday, Royal. That is one of our queen. You guys have seen her here on this panel. This is a powerful panel. Absolutely. Absolutely. About to rock out. Hello, Queen Paulette, as one of my dancers. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Queen Denise, who I talk to in my head if I don't speak to her all the time. I love you. Thank you for being Queen Arlene, one of our board of directors. We appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, yes. Hey, sister. She's coming all the way from Atlanta. And W says, hey, ladies, your queens are gorgeous. Thank you so much. Thank you. We're going to say I'm a reflection of you. Yes, let's get into this bag. Let's get into this bag. Let's get into it. I love the comments. Hello, Sister Cherise. Thank you for being here. Y'all are awesome. First question is, why is it important to build generational wealth in the Black and brown community? Who wants to take that first? Why is it important to build generational wealth in the Black and brown community? I think Mickey's trying to come on. Go ahead, Queen.
I'll go. Oh, yes. I would say it is very important to build generational wealth in the Black and brown community so that our children and then their children's children can have something to fall back on. And then they won't have to rely so heavily on loans or credit cards to get them through. Not saying that everyone does, but some people do. And then that just leads to a cycle of, great, I have this bill, I got that bill, and then next thing you know, you're snowballing, and it's almost like you're drowning and you can't get out.
Yes, you went right in there. Very, very well said. We want to be able to set ourselves up for the next generation to come. What are your thoughts, Barbara?
I definitely agree. It's something that has saddened me over years, because sometimes, I often wondered, I said, Black families, I'm sure I'm not the only family that have had to gather to bury our loved ones. You know, always trying to, you know, we put together and we try to do these things. And then you think about it, we actually just try to change the narrative. White people will die, they leave their families with wealth. We have to, you know, we're struggling and it just never really changes. So what kind of things can we do to educate ourselves as well as educate our children to have a better perspective of finances that we can then transfer that generational wealth? So it has to start somewhere. And it's like, it's kind of like an uncomfortable conversation to have often with families. It's hard to find the information. You have to go digging to get a lot of this information, but it's so meaningful. It's such an important conversation to have. However, it's not always available, you know? So it's time for us to really make a change. Like, how can we make that change? And the time is now. I feel like it's time for it to really, you know, take place right now.
Wow. I remember we even had a brief conversation about this yesterday, as when we pass, we are left with debt, and where other white communities they're fine. They're left with, you know, inheritance. We really went there yesterday. You're so right. It's uncomfortable. However, we need to have it. You have to get through. Some things are uncomfortable in life until you get through it. Then it's like, oh, this is quick. This is good. Let's do this. Let's save. Let's do this. Things like that. Yeah. And I love having this platform and the people that are able to tune in. Definitely please share this out with your family and friends. The goal is, as we have these, I don't like the word challenging, this beautiful journey of conversations. Last time we talked about, you know, protecting the Black man and woman. We talked about healing. We talked about trauma. And today is finance. And we want y'all to feel comfortable, because look, we're everyday people doing our thing. We're mothers, husbands, aunties, teachers, educators, and we're all learning together. So I would love to hear, what are your thoughts, Shaka?
Important for us to have generational wealth, because every generation we basically reinvent the wheel. So nothing is passed down, and each generation has to go through their own individual struggles. And by the time they get it, if they get it at all, it's time to transition to the next level. And we never pass any information down. We never pass any of the wealth down as a race. And each time we stay at a point of constantly struggling. As long as we are struggling, we are never going to be thinking about tomorrow, because we're thinking about the issues of today. So we stay at a stagnation point on a day-to-day basis, generation after generation. Can't think about tomorrow because we're trying to meet today's needs today. And we have enough money, we have enough everything. Our issue is not necessarily a money problem, it's a mentality problem. We have not learned exactly what to do with money. We haven't learned the rules of money, how to pass it down, how to make it work for us. We continue to work for money every generation instead of having money work for us, have nothing to pass down to the next generation but debt and heartache. So we have to begin to get generational wealth so that we can now start to take our proper place in society, get a piece of this American pie and the wealth that our ancestors have put here into this country. So it's important for us to do the best that we can and move forward. I mean, Maya Angelou's play says, I am the hope and the dream of a slave. So it's incumbent upon us to now move forward in our knowledge. We don't have the excuses as we had before. Almost all of us have an opportunity to get to the internet. However, we don't know what we don't know. So some of the information that we get is not completely contextualized. So we hear about credit, but we don't know and understand exactly why it's so important until we mess it up. So we can't continue to mess up and have these mistakes plague us generation after generation. We have to have something to pass down to the next generation so that they can in turn have something to pass down to the next generation, and we can finally win in this system.
Shaka, all right, y'all, the show is over because Shaka just hit it on the nose. I've learned so much. Thank you very much. Simple. No, I mean it's deep, but it's important. Overall, it's generation to generation. It's time to do something different. A few things that you were saying, it was no more struggling. No, we're not struggling. We're gonna thrive. We're gonna win. We're gonna succeed. And you said like to change the system because we know that it is a very deeply rooted system. But I'm getting from you, and then even it's a mental problem. And it's nobody's fault. We're not blaming anyone. Let's fix it. And we can say, yes, some people may say, yes, we are, or whatever. But what are you going to do? The only person you can work on and change is yourself, and then continue to teach that. So that was powerful. A mental problem. It's Angie on. Would want her to come on next to share her thoughts, one of our queens. Or if not, we can jump right to Queen Nefertiti. Yes.
Hey, yeah, everything that you guys have said is absolutely correct, absolutely true. And I know for myself, it's like it has to stop with me, like this whole struggle cycle and everything like that. Like I'm gonna do my best in this lifetime so that it stops with me and to actually build wealth for my son and my kids to come and stuff like that. Because it's just going to continue if we don't do it. And like you said, Shaka, you know, it's the day and age where we can find the information. And like you also said, Barbara, you know, these things weren't taught to us as well. So you don't even know, like just in other communities, it's particularly a white community, they might teach their kids about these things. We're not being taught this. So, you know, we know how to spend money, but we're not being taught the importance of money and why it's so important and different things, you know, with savings and you see, like, I know for me, sometimes I'll see like IRAs and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, what's that? And then I just shy away from it. I'm like, whatever, don't know what this is. But, you know, it has to stop there because that is seriously important when it comes to later in life and trying to get a home and this, that, and the third, you know. And I know for myself, like with my son, I don't want him to struggle in the ways that I, you know, currently struggle. And especially with getting your own place. Like, that's crazy. Like, I want to be able to build enough wealth for him so that once he turns 18, 21, whatever, it's like, here, you have money to be able to get your own place. There is money saved for you to go to school, you know what I mean? So that you don't have to do the loans. Because I had the loans, I had the credit cards, I had all of that. And it's like, I don't want him to have to go through that because, again, you know, in other communities, they don't have to go through that. And it's only up to us to learn for ourselves and to teach ourselves and to share that and to help each other and pass it on to our kids. Because if we're not going to help ourselves, then clearly these other races ain't going to be like, hey, let me show you about this, you know? So we have to figure it out. And it's just time for us to figure it out because it's got to stop.
Yeah, no. Rashina, one of our queens, is on. Hi, Rashina. Yes, no more struggling. Now, I appreciate you, Nefi, because we have this panel, but for me, I'm not an expert on finance. I am here to learn from you all as well, to learn some new tools, but also to keep my mind consistent. So this is inspiring for myself as well for my future. Queen Mother Asemoto said we must invest in property, have the right to life insurance with cash value. Oh, you go ahead, mommy, and teach our children about saving, investment, etc. These are things we need to teach. And again, I always say it's not just words. These are actions. And the goal as we continue with these series are to speak about them because words are power, but to also reflect on it and action, right? Yeah. Peace, Ramona is one of our princesses. Mommy, hello. That's another Queen Bee. Call her Queen Bee as well. I overheard a conversation. The woman said, you work and build and die just for the kids to enjoy what you've worked for. Some mindset should change. Where did you hear that from? I get it, but yeah, we just got to change the mindset. It's a mind shift, and which most things in life. Queen Angie.
Yeah, so I agree with everyone. I mean, my experience with that is financial freedom. Personally, I feel like the Black community, you know, a lot of us are focused on materialistic things, and our white counterparts are not focused on those things. For instance, like some people are brought with the notation that having nice stuff has to be expensive. You don't have to have nice. You can have nice things, but not have something that's expensive. You don't need Gucci, Prada, or Bergdorf, or whatever the case may have. You can still look fine in a pair of Levi jeans and still make sure that you're accessorizing to make yourself look just as good as the white counterpart. But at the same time, you know, you're investing in yourself, but you're investing in your future as well. I remember one time someone told me that it's great to pay your bills, but it's better to pay yourself, because your debt will always be there, but your wealth would never grow if you don't pay yourself. So when I heard that, I was like, what do you mean? Like, I need to pay off my debt so that I'm able to like afford things in the future. And it didn't click to me till I got older, into my adult years, that what he was saying was that your debt, no matter what you do, your debt is always going to be there. So today you could have paid off a credit card, and then 2 weeks later something comes up where now that credit card is being used again and you have to spend another $1,000. So it's not removing. So you paying yourself, and you sticking to you paying yourself, is building your wealth, so that when you leave your legacy for your children or so on and so forth, that they'll have something to come forward with, whether it be using the money for educational purposes, using the money to start their own business, using the money to fund a business for themselves, or fund a vocational skill, or whatever the case may have you. But the fact that you took the time to do that is what I think the Black community needs to understand.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. It's so interesting how you make, to each his own, right? People are going to do what they want. But the reality is going to come to a point where you're like, oh, snap, I need this in my, look what's going on with COVID right now. There's so many people that's lost their jobs. It's just been life changing for every single one of us, and beyond.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to each his own. Good evening, ladies. Hello, Miss Johnson. Thank you for being here, Elle. Yes, it's about developing a healthy relationship with money from a young age. I find that shifting my mindset and how I view money allows me to handle it differently. Well said. And thus be able to save, budget, and invest in the same respect. Thank you for this much needed discussion. Queens and King, we love you, Elle. Teach, Levante Artist. Teach, yes. Yeah, if you guys have some knowledge, definitely drop it in the comments. Or learning to develop a healthy relationship with money, even as an adult. Yeah. When you said that, I was thinking that as well. We got you, boo. We got you.
Just to touch on that, again, one thing when people were just talking about that, I was just thinking about the stimulus check, like working, because I work in the retail industry. So working in the industry, we saw that once, COVID hit, we got those nice stimulus checks. You would think that we would take the money to save it, because we don't know when COVID is ending. We don't know at this point in time, it's March, April, May. We don't know if it's going to end in the summer. We don't know where we are, but we took the money to go and spend on retail therapy rather than taking the money to save. And now we're looking for the new stimulus check to come from the government. And the government is like, Mr. 45 is like, hold up, I didn't win the election, so I don't know if I'm gonna drop you guys another $1,200 or $1,700 or $2,100 is what you got if you got more than one kid. So like, what are we supposed to do now? And look at what's about to happen. It's mostly affecting our community because of the fact that our community, there are majority of the people who are unemployed are in jobs such as retail, jobs such as construction, and so on and so forth. So what that means is that once these unemployment benefits end at the 31st of December, what are these people going to do? So now we're talking about over 77,000 people who are out of unemployed. Now we're going to talk about much, much more once these unemployment benefits stop. So like, what signs do we need to realize that we need to look out for ourselves and be able to give our wealth and not want wealth from anybody else?
Yes, ING. Oh gosh, it's so deep. Hello, Miss Ravioli. I think Nefertiti wanted to jump on real quick.
Yeah, girl, everything you said was me. Let me tell you, I spent that first check. Okay. I am on unemployment. I'm an actor, but I'm on unemployment because that shut down the whole industry, you know? And I'm not gonna lie, like I was like, ooh, finally I have a lump sum of money. You know what I mean? It's like I got sneakers, I got my mom's sneakers. I was like, my mom needed a new pair of sneakers. But it's crazy because, you know, going back to the fact that we've been struggling for so long that the things that we, you know, didn't get for ourselves, like a new pair of sneakers that my mom needs, you know what I mean? That it's like, oh, finally, there's enough money to get my mom a pair of sneakers so that I can buy her the sneakers without feeling like now I have nothing left, you know, because you have enough to spend on something that's actually still quite needed. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm going for the Gucci sneakers. It's like, Ma, your sneakers that you've been wearing are tearing down and I just want you to be comfortable, you know? And I went on a vacation because it's like, I haven't been anywhere that much. Well, thank God I've been to Nigeria. But, you know, it's like, to not have traveled and then you want to travel and then it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to go on the vacation and see something. And that was my first thought. And so thank God finally towards the end of the year, I'm like, okay, now let me try to save some of this. But that was me because it's like, again, the first time that you actually have enough money to be able to do something or to enjoy life in just a bare minimum way. Like my vacation wasn't even like something like luxurious. It was Florida, like, but Florida in the safe place. You know what I mean? Just to see a palm tree and just to get warm weather, you know? And it's just like, dang. And even the fact that to have enough money to be able to save, because that used to be a huge thing before, before, starting to work full time as an actor, I was just living paycheck to paycheck. And it's hard to be able to put money aside to even save at times when you have all your bills that you go through and you pay all of that. And then you're like, okay, I'm done, got my food and everything. Now what? It's like it's hard to even save, so it's just you hit everything on the nail. You hit everything on the nail, but I'm just saying, what, God better take over even further come January 1st, and that's what I'm going to keep my faith in, and not what these fools are doing in office. But yeah, it's so true.
Yeah, I think Queen Barbara wanted to share. Yeah. Thank you, Nefi.
I think Nefertiti, you really shared such purity. And when it comes to our community, I think that's where it is. It is like that mental state, as Shaka said, but we also endure a lot. So in the hints of dealing with all of the things that we have to deal with, then we are forced to come down to kind of really hone down to say, okay, well, we also need to be financially responsible. How much are we dealing with in addition to our own finances to still be financially responsible? So it is a journey. It is a process. And I hear you. And I remember mentally some days I have to say to myself, what are my needs and what are my wants? And it's like so much discipline when you have to say, okay, well, I made this. Let me make sure I take a little something, put it on the side, that rainy day. It's just like whatever little that I'm able to do. Sometimes mentally I say, you know what? This is the way we have to stay disciplined, although we have so many of our own. It's like our personal story. We have so much going on. And in the midst of that, we still need to say, okay, we are determined to have this wealth for the next generation. And then we do whatever we can, even if it's as small or as large as we're able to do. But I did appreciate that, the authenticity of you sharing. Yeah. But this is something that we are dealing with this on a regular. This is a community. We're dealing with different aspects of finances all the time.
Yeah, just both of y'all, thank you for sharing your space with us today. And I hope that our audience feel safe and comfortable to learn. Keenan says the sophisticated troll in me won't. Oh, we appreciate that. That's a good look right there. No trolling. No troll. There was a young lady earlier. I think it was Cheyenne. She mentioned something. She mentioned something earlier, but Cheyenne, we did see you on here. We appreciate you. With anyone that we love and all, Queens and King, thank you for every piece of information. Thank you, Sherry Ann Seeley, for being here. So something that Angie had stated, again, with to each his own on your choices. And Nephi, sometimes I'm glad you took time to go away as a mom and just relax and see the palm trees and more. Right? You know, that's part of wealth. Wealth is not, it's also finance, but wealth is mentally, spiritually, and emotionally as well. So you need that in order to move forward. Before we go on to the next, I did have a point, but I want to move forward. I'll come back again. Before we go on to the next question, would anybody else like to share on this first one? I want to make sure. All right. So second, you want to share, Mickey? Go right ahead, love.
Yes. Yeah, I would definitely say listening to everybody. I think also we need to remember that being rich is not the same as being wealthy, just as having wealth is not the same as being rich. For a lot of people, especially like for me, when people were growing up, they were like, oh, I just want to be rich. I just want to be rich. They look at the television, they look at money. That's what Miss Asamoto had said in the comments, to have investments, have property, have something that will continue to allow the wealth, the money to grow and build. It's nice to have these cars and everything, but what else? There's more to life than just cars and sneakers and etc. So once you change your mindset, that makes all the difference.
I feel like that's like the common thread is the mindset to feel comfortable. Listen, I have affirmations. I would flip my computer. Nephi knows, all over my apartment. This one, money expands my life and opportunities and experiences. I said money is the root of joy and comfort. I got affirmations all over my crib. Like, it's that as an artist, as a creative, sometimes I would always say I'm only creative on money. All this other stuff is brand new to, but I'm like, no, Eki, you got to get with the program, or you have people surrounded who can help you and see what you're doing. Like, Eki, all right, I need you to send me your receipts. I need you to pile this. My father's an accountant. He definitely gave me a little thing today. We were trying to book a space. We booked our space for our Kwanzaa celebration on December 26th. We need you to be here. It's going to be streamed live. So we booked our spot for the Kwanzaa, and my dad was like, make sure you get a receipt. I'm like, I know, Daddy, but you need that. And I'm able to look at it as a positive, like people got my back, right? As opposed to be like, here we go, Dad. No, thank you, Daddy. Repeat it, My second question is, shout out to Benson Asamota. My second question is, what are different ways you save? And I want to start off with our King Shaka. Oh, you got to unmute yourself.
I don't know how to do that.
You got it.
Okay. All right. In order for you to begin to save, you got to find out exactly where your money is going. So many people, they have $100 bill. They crack that $100 bill, and by the end of the day, the $100 bill is gone, and they don't know what it is that they spent their money on. So you have to start by writing down exactly what it is that you are spending your money on. And then after you continue to do that day after day, you'll start to see that there's a cycle in terms of what it is that you are buying. And then you have to create a budget. Now, I know that's a bad word. Everybody thinks about a budget being a negative thing and everything else. But when you create a budget, that's when you get a chance to see exactly where your money is going. And you want to match your spending to your paycheck. Not one of the worst things that you can say is I deserve when it comes to finance, because we don't deserve anything. When you look at things from the point of view of deserving something, you feel like you were supposed to have gotten something that you're not getting. So then you start to do things that you really shouldn't do, take money from different places that you shouldn't take them from, and then you end up having to pay the piper later on down the line. So in order for you to start to save, you have to find out exactly where your money is going and where you would want your money to go. One of the best ways to do that is to get your paycheck and you get about 20 envelopes and you write down exactly what it is that you are spending your money on in this paycheck, and you write it on the envelope. After the envelopes are done and the money is gone, then the money is gone. Don't go to your credit cards. Your credit cards is a parachute that people use month after month. It's not supposed to be that. It's only supposed to be for emergencies. A credit card is a glorified loan. and you have to pay it back with interest. And if you work it into your budget, you'll never get financially free because you'll always be working on this crutch. So you have to write down everything and then make sure that you are putting down all of your expenses versus exactly what it is that you what's on your paycheck, so that you're not overspending. In order for you to finally get ahead, it's super simple, at least in theory, and that you can't spend more than you make. In order for you to get ahead financially, you have to either make more money or spend less of what it is that you earn. So either one of those two are things that are necessary in order for you to get ahead, or you're going to be trapped in the same cycle month after month, bill after bill, credit card after credit card.
And that's real 100% talk. As you're talking, I'm taking down notes here like, yes. No, something you said that struck me was, when the money is gone, money is gone. Why are you tapping into this credit card? We already know what type of system it is. Why are you tapping into that? And if you see yourself as a millionaire, billionaire, whatever, and you want to get there, you better eat that peanut butter and jelly sandwich until you get you want to be, instead of spending a credit card to go and hang out with friends, which is great. Again, choose to do what you want. But if you want to build wealth, it takes discipline. Queen Ramona says, thank you, Shaka. Great information. I will practice this. I'm glad this is recorded, because if there's, I plan to continue to propel, but if days that I'm feeling some type of way, I'm going to play it over and be like Shaka said. Barbara Hernandez, I recently began praying and meditating in that manner. Provide me with what I need, because I'm aware of what I want. Miss Ravioli, yes. I have a schedule, blessings, a schedule on my wall. I'm going to read real quick, and I would love Queen Barbara to jump in. To do daily: pray, meditate, exercise, cook to boost my immune system, clean, budget, read for 15 minutes, finances, cook again, create, nap. I'm telling y'all all my business, organize, on repeat, right on my wall, on repeat. Says, as an artist, I need to get it going daily. And it takes, Shaka was saying, budget, schedule, expenses, and cut the credit cards. Queen Barbara.
Yes, I loved all of Shaka. You nailed it. It's really, for me, it's like discipline and prayer. Because some days I really have to say, what is it that I really want? I put everything really on paper, and I try to give myself just a goal. I'm always kind of like a goal-oriented person. So what is it that I'm trying to accomplish? So a few things that's important to me is pay off my house before I retire. So every year I try to give a little extra towards that principal payment. I think of, like I told you, life insurance to me is so important, because I have seen my family get devastated with this over and over again. And it's an uncomfortable conversation. I had it even with my husband, when I had to tell him, even the policy you have at work is just not enough. We're thinking about the possibilities. We're praying for, we kind of know that the ending has to come, so we live a certain life, and we just have to kind of leave it to God. So how are we going to kind of set up those policies to make sure that they're established? College funds, making sure I contribute something. I pay a lot of those things automatically, because I feel like, what? Even if I leave myself with not much, those things got paid. I feel happy within myself, because that is part of my step towards trying to establish my wealth for the next generation. And I just try to do a lot of reading, trying to do basic savings. Sometimes, I want to buy a washer and dryer. So I'll say, okay, well, I'll put it in another savings account. So a little something extra goes there. If I get a raise at work, I'll say, well, this raise, I'll try to increase my retirement contributions. So it's those really strategic little things. Sometimes it's minimal, like it could be 1%, it could be $100. I just try to finagle it. But the goal is, like I said, the intended goal is that I'm meeting some of these things that are very important to me. And it makes me feel good that I'm able to do that. Even at the end, when I'm like, oh, well, I kind of wanted to buy those nice shoes or that Gucci bag, there was a nice bag, but it's not going to be the bag that I'm going to purchase, because I kind of have a goal, and my purpose right now is staying focused. So forget about the consumption. We don't really have to continue to think about buying these things, because those are material things, and they're not going to help our families out. They're not going to help the next generation out. So therefore, it's not priority. So I just try to stay disciplined.
Yeah, those are some great gems right there, Barbara. Shaka, stop telling me to track my potential spending. He's keeping it 100, everyone here. Yes. Wow. Some gems I got for you. And I feel like as I'm listening to you, there's someone here listening and learning from you, Barbara. Writing how you spend your money is key. Every time you go shopping, I write them. Yes, she does. Items on a receipt. I make monthly expenditures report for. Yes, she does. To be honest, I gotta call you back. I know what you're doing, mommy. Yes. Barbara's like, we see it. Some gems that I got from hearing you is setting goals, being focused. As a homeowner, one of your goals is to pay that off. And we don't claim that you pay that off in like 2 years or maybe less. You know what I mean? Yes. Having policies, knowing the policies. Hello, Timmy, one of our queens, our goddess Isis, my dear sister. You have to say, I just said that. Thank you for your gems. Yep. And college fund as well. It's really setting your goal, being disciplined and focused. What I wanted to share earlier was like, and I got a little backlash for this, so I'm gonna like just keep this as my experience and I think in a way of Black and brown of what we are going through as a people. And Angie touched on it earlier. Nothing wrong with the Gucci, Ooey, Louis, all that. However, there's nothing wrong. You heard me. There's nothing wrong with it. However, if it's going to affect you in some way where you can't feed your kids or whatever, just I'm saying in no judgment. Keep that in mind. Think about your generation. And here, if you want to spend money, buy Black. Put the money back in the community. You can support Ecky's Famous and your queens. You know what I mean? And support so many Black and brown businesses. We have Shako here who has a business as well. Nefertiti, who's an author and an actress. You know, Barbara Hernandez, she have princesses who are being entrepreneurs themselves. Angie, she's building for her son and family, you know, she's building a legacy. So you know people in your community, your family and friends who have businesses. And that's what I love about COVID. There's a lot of people started businesses during this year. It's like, y'all better go ahead. It's been so inspiring to see that. Angie, I'm going to have you go next. What are different ways that you save?
I think the biggest way that I save is, first thing is I give my grandma money, and she knows she's old fashioned, so she don't believe in checking accounts and things of that nature. So when you give her money, she just puts it underneath a sock drawer in some place in the house where I can't find it. And then I'll be like, oh, well, grandma, you know, I'm short this month. I got to pay my car note. And she'd be like, nope. And then I start looking around trying to find it. And she's like, nope, it's not here. It's gone. So where's my money I gave you? I know I gave you $100 last month. I know I did. So I know I don't know where it's at. So that's the first I say. The second way I save is direct out of my paycheck. So I have 2 savings accounts, and the money goes directly into those savings accounts, so I can't touch them. And I have something called a passbook, which some banks don't even offer anymore, where it's like, in order for you to go to the account, you have to bring the passbook to the bank. So I shredded the passbook so I wouldn't go to the bank to get the money. So now I have no way of getting the money out. So it'll just stay there until umpteen amount of years until I'm able to actually get the actual the money. And then the last way I save is it sounds cheesy, but I do this thing called Rakuten, where you like spend stuff and you buy and you get money back. So all that money that I've been shopping for these years, like even if it's just buying stuff from like appliances, so on and so forth, it goes into that Rakuten account and I keep it there. As of right now, I saw my balance the other day and I'm at almost $300 for the past year and a half that I've been saving. Like I've been getting stuff back and I don't touch the money. So I just leave it in there so that I could have something to go into an account later on. So that's what I do.
I love that, Angie. I really appreciate this panel of how raw and authentic and clear, because you don't know who's listening and whether you're saving $3 million to 300, it's saving.
Absolutely.
you're doing something. And next thing you know, you turn around, you're like, ooh, we're gonna claim, y'all know me, we're gonna claim 300 million in your bank account. Okay.
I can use it.
Yes, we must, Ms. Asemota said, we must teach our children about how to use a credit card, what are interest rate, loans, credit scores, etc. Yes. Would anybody want to jump on that comment? I'm going to have Shaka go and then Nefertiti go. Go right ahead.
Oh, okay. It's super important for us to teach our children how to use money. We have to have a healthy relationship with money. A lot of the times with our children, we start to poison their minds very early by telling them we can't afford this, or money is the root of all evil, or any of those things that make us guilty or feel guilty when we start to accumulate some sort of wealth. This answer is going to be a little lengthy if you don't mind. We face so much trauma throughout our experience here in this country, and that trauma still lives in our pocketbook. When we came to this country, dragged here, maimed, killed, all of the different horrible things that we've experienced, while we were working here on this plantation, we would look at what the slave master had and we would covet those things. We would say, I wish we could have those things. So psychologically, after we became free, we start to move forward to covet those things, not knowing exactly how this slave master was doing it. So we went out and figured that if we can buy the same things that the slave master has, then that would make us equal to the slave master. However, the slave master, he has a whole system where he is investing his money and he is living off the interest. So the interest is paying for the luxuries that you see him having, but you think if you can go and purchase those luxuries, now you will be on equity or have parity with the slave master. And I think that that's where a lot of us are, is we are stuck at a point of materialism and looking and figuring if we can purchase something, that means we can afford it. Those are two completely different things. Just because you can get something or acquire it does not mean you can afford it. Affording means that you should be able to purchase it without it affecting any of your day-to-day expenses or anything else. So there's a huge difference between getting something and affording it. With that, we continue to have this negative relationship with our finances and with money, and our children are sitting and watching us the entire time. So they're learning some of the bad habits if we have bad habits, and some of the good habits if we have good habits. Most of us have negative habits, and we have never really had a positive relationship with money. So we continue to teach that same thing to our children in terms of the minute you get a lump sum, you buy something for it. Go buy something for you. Some of the negative things that I've heard is go and buy something for yourself now because you don't know how long you're going to live. Enjoy now. But when you start to embrace that mentality, you always stay in just the now. You always stay a slave to what it is that you have done in your now. So now you are selling your future because of your now. So you are putting your future self in bondage because you are saying, I need to buy this now because, quote unquote, I deserve it. I've been working hard. I'm not saying that you should absolutely reward yourself, but you should make sure that you have the discipline to put some money aside to reward yourself. You don't just take a credit card and make a splurge purchase and say that you deserve it because you are selling yourself into bondage tomorrow for today's purchases. So it's important for us to teach our children all of these things because we think that money is money and there's so much more to money. I mean, even in terms of us putting our money in the mattress and everything else, and you know, I have family who's done it, but there's this thing called inflation. And inflation means that the money that you think you have, you don't actually have. So just because the dollar bill says $10 doesn't mean that you're going to be able to purchase $10 of goods with it. As long as you keep that money in your mattress, under your in your drawer or anything, that money loses value. You have to invest your money just to keep it on the level of it actually purchasing the $10 that you were able to purchase when you got the $10. If you keep it in wherever or save it and not invest it, that money continues to go down to $9.75, $9.50, and continues to come down in value. So it's important for you to be able to teach those things to your children. But once again, we can't teach what we don't know. So at some point we have to stop and say, listen, I need to know this. I need to stop. I need to try to do whatever is necessary for me to get ahead. If I've experienced trauma, I'm not going to go and reward that with retail therapy. I'm going to go and talk to an actual clinician that I can pour out everything that I'm feeling and not do it financially and then come back to the same situation because now I'm feeling bad because I have all of these bills and I can't take a break and I can't take a day off, and then I go and splurge again. So it's a very vicious cycle, but there's so many things that we need to learn in terms of our money, because if we just go past our wealth to our children without teaching them exactly what to do with this money, they're going to be right back to being not having money. There's a saying, a fool and his money are soon parted. The difference between wealth and not wealth is not money, it's a mentality. If you have a rich person and you take all of his possessions, let's say he's worth $1 million. You take $1 million from him and you give it to someone who does not have $1 million. In 5 years, the person who received the $1 million will be right back to the point that they were at when you gave them the $1 million, because they don't know what to do with it. While the rich person will be exactly where they were when you took the $1 million from them, because they know exactly what to do with the $1 million and they know exactly how to get that money back. They know that you are not going to just go and keep working. You're going to take your money, you're going to invest your money and let your money work for you so that later on you can enjoy your money after a point where you can now spend it and be completely guilt-free, because this is now money that's coming off the excess.
Wow. Yes. Educate yourself. Think about trauma that we experience. Go and get help, because health is wealth, right? And Chaka, real quick, can you give them a way that they can contact you and learn more about the work that you do? Because I'm here like, okay, I got that, but I know more people want to learn. Do you mind sharing your information, your email address, if some people would like to get some, some inspiration or some tools or help with different things dealing with finance?
My email is cfair@aol.com. Yes, I'm that old.
So CPHAIRE@AOL.com.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
Or I'm on Instagram at Chaka Fair, or Facebook as well.
You better drop your Instagram handle.
It's just at Chaka Fair.
Chaka Fair. Thank you. Yeah, something else he was talking about. It's
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just got shaded. We're talking about financial freedom, and my doorbell just rang. And here's 6 packages, and here's my grandmother. So you on a panel for financial freedom, but yet you got 6 packages coming in. I was like, their Christmas gift. She was like, yeah, why are they so big? And I'm like, I gotta go back. I'll talk to you later. I'm like, what's going on?
We're keeping it.
I'm like, and I'm sitting over here in the shock, and I'm like, therapy on Black Friday, but that sale got me. That sale got me.
God.
They had the air fryer for $40 for $99.99. So I just had to splurge just a tad bit, So
I love it.
I had to.
Thank you for sharing that.
Now I'm sitting over here thinking about my purchase. Like, should I take it back? Because Shaka just really gave me some knowledge that I need to take an envelope and put all my money in and look at that so I can see how much I have.
It's good. It's good to think that way.
It's good, but the package looks nice. I don't know if I want to take it back.
One step at one moment at a time. But he put the gems in there. Arlene said, please put reference in that chat. No, I'm listening to you, and as you're talking, Shaka, I'm like, he don't know. He just changed my life at this moment right now. So we appreciate. I hope other people feel change as well and feel good. I want to jump into our final question. Y'all have been amazing. Just listening. I love that we're doing this talk. If you guys just joined in, we are your queens. We teach about African royalty through storytelling, song, and dance. This is Behind the Talk series with some dear family and friends of mine on this panel. Thank y'all for being here. We're learning about financial wealth and building financial wealth in the Black and Brown community. Some gems that we got out of it is, as Black and Brown, we know that we've been through trauma. So some things that we've seen from our ancestors, slave masters, that we've learned, we're still carrying it on today. And it's still happening today in 2020. Let's not talk about the school system and the prisons, and all that is all part of the system. So we have to educate ourselves. And the main thing is keeping yourself on a routine, being accountable, have goals, find different ways to save, invest, build wealth. Think about your children. And with that being said, on our last question tonight, how do you teach your children financial literacy? I'm going to have Queen Barbara to jump on that last question. How do you teach your children about financial literacy?
So this conversation is ongoing in my home because it's constant. No, we can't get it because that's not what we budget for. But working. Oh, can you hear me? Sorry. I'm like, we're working. However, there's a budget. And if you don't have that spending allowance, then you can't purchase it. So I've taken it a step further, that they only earn based on merits and home chores. They have different responsibilities. They have to gather up their own money. You have to save and earn, and then you can spend it. Natalia has taken it a step further. That's my older daughter. She said, oh, you know what? I have some business ideas. Okay, well, you can put those business ideas.
Oh, sorry, Barbara. Please let them know how old Natalia is.
Natalia is 11. So she had found a way to generate her own funds. She said she wanted to see how much it would cost to purchase, and how much she loves art, designing, and graphics. So she has taken time out to design different images. She sat down and did the math. This would be the growth. This is what I would earn. So therefore, I can get some of my own money, but then I'll take some of this money and put it into my college fund. And she had a birthday party, I think last year. She said, Mommy, I don't want gifts. I just want that money to go into my college fund. So really just teaching her the importance. I mean, who wouldn't like nice things? Like you said, it's not about, I have nice bags. I like a nice bag. But there's times that you just can't, you have to say, well, I can't buy that bag, And I think it's the same thing to transition to the girls, when you might want something, and then you have to say, is this something that I plan to get? Is this something that I really need? Or is this something that I want? Is it something that's going to help me in the future? Or is it something that just gets old and dull in a matter of months? Because we can just consume and it's nothing valuable. So I speak to them a lot about even the home. Because I think okay, God forbid something happens to me, they have to be able to understand how to maintain the things that I have left for them. So it's real deep, meaningful conversations all the time about the finances, just talking to them about the value of money and the importance to stay focused when it comes to finances, even as children.
Thank you. You're doing wonderful. You're doing wonderful. We appreciate you. So we have a couple minutes left, but I want to get to hear from you guys, and we're going to close out in an affirmation. I want you guys to just finish the sentence on how you feel about finance, this panel, your day. You're going to finish it with I am. But go right ahead, Nefi.
Hey, so this is for still the third question,
Yes.
right? Okay, thank you. So for me, my son is 7, so he's just now coming to understand that money is an actual thing that mommy doesn't have all the time. Like you actually, it's a thing, and understanding the concept of money. But what I like to do with him, there's this app that I use. It's called Busy Kid, and I like it because you don't have to pay like a monthly or annual fee to use this service. But what it does is it's a spending card for your children, and you can set it up with chores, Barbara. Like you can put how if they do this chore Monday through Friday or Saturday to Sunday, they'll get this amount of money, and then you can pay them for their chores. And then at the end of the week, they have a payday, and then you can give like allowance to it, like you can approve the payday. It's like on Fridays. You can also send them a bonus with a little comment if you want to do that. But what I also love about it is because they have 3 sections to it. They have a spend section, they have a savings section where you can save it, or you can also invest it into actual corporations. Like he can invest into Disney, he can invest into Apple, Google, whatever, on this Busy Kid app. And then they have a charities section as well. So to teach him about, giving back, he can donate to certain organizations and like adopt a dog or whatever, the animal organization and stuff like that. So I really love this app. I sound like I'm plugging for it, but it's great. This is the one I've seen thus far. There are others out there, but again, some others come with annual fees or monthly fees, and I said I'm not going to do this. This one is free, and again, I think it's a great start. Again, my son, he's 7, so just starting him out to teach him that, hey, you get this money, and for a good day in school, I'll give you $1 because his thing is video games, right? And if you have a great day in school, I give you $1, and eventually you earn up to $5, and maybe that can go towards a video game, or you can save it if you want something else, and to teach him slowly with that. So that's the best thing that I like.
Go, mommy, go! You are on track. Thank you, King Shaka. Oh, before that, what is your affirmation? I am.
For today?
Yeah.
I am filled with the seeds of wealth.
All right, seeds of wealth. Yes. I'm going to say I am a billionaire. Yes. King Shaka.
Yes. I see you.
Okay. The way that we teach our children about money is we give them an opportunity to practice. From the time our children are young, they're cute. People come up to them, they pinch their cheeks, they give them $1. What do you tell your child to do with that $1? Do you take them immediately down the block and buy them an ice cream? Or do you teach them that in order for you to always have money, you have to save money? So you can spend 50 cents, but we're going to save the other 50 here. So you start that trajectory with them to know that once you get some money, you don't spend the whole thing. You spend half of it and you save the other half. Otherwise, if you always spend everything that you get, you'll always be at zero. And once you start to get into credit cards, then you'll be less than zero. So you want to start them out at a point where they can understand that there can be a healthy way of relationship with money, but it has to start and it has to be practiced. They're not going to be able to just hear something one time and just get it. So you have to give them an opportunity to practice day after day, time after time, and you have to show them. You have to create a bank account with them. Bring them to the bank, show them, listen, okay, that 50 cents, half of it goes in the bank. Why? This money has to be there, and it has to be stayed there for a rainy day. I work in the school system, and there was a teacher who didn't like something that someone said, an administrator, and he said, I quit. And he quit right on the spot. And I could not believe the courage that he had to quit. But I knew that with the confidence that came with that, his bank account matched that. He had savings in the bank where he could wait 2 or 3 months to find another job because he had that amount inside the bank. So when you have money, you walk differently, you talk differently, your attitude is completely different. So it's important for us to get that the money that gives us that confidence so that we can now move with the freedom that we know that we need to move. There are so many people who take lousy jobs and stay in lousy jobs because they can't do anything different because they haven't accumulated the money to leave this particular job. Now, I understand sometimes we have to take jobs that we don't want to take and do certain things that we don't want to do. But most of the times, as I said, it's a mentality issue. We've also gotten raises, and the minute we get a raise, we upgrade our lifestyle to the same level as the raise, because now, since we got this new title, now we have to upgrade our car, we have to upgrade our bag, we have to upgrade our shoes to this new office. Next thing you know, you got a raise, but you feel like you're living paycheck to paycheck because now you are spending the amount that you have gotten a raise for. If you take that money and still continue to live as if you didn't get that raise, that can be a springboard to help you to move forward and get ahead of the game. This is a rat race. If you sit on that wheel, you'll always be on the wheel. You have to figure out, what do I have to do in order for me to get off of this wheel? And it's not that hard because we are looking at, you have to say, if I've done what I've always done, I'm going to get what I've always got.
Shaka, wow.
In order for me to get something different. So if I don't, I'm going to continue to be in this rat race. So we have to do something different. One of the things that we can do is we can say, listen, I'm going to take a break from things for a second. I'm not going to buy anything. And I'm going to take a look at my finance and I'm going to research and find out exactly how I can get ahead. You have to have some point where you have a fresh start because the wheel never stops going. The wheel never stops going. Life, there's no referee to life that says, oh, wait a minute, we're going to hold off on you because we know you're trying to get your act together. So we're going to give you a break. It doesn't work like that. You have to take a break. You have to do something different.
Say that.
You do that, then you'll win.
Amazing. That was such a great Shaka wrap up. We appreciate you. I want to thank my amazing panelists, Queen Angie, for being here. Boo, congratulations again. My great, great sister, Queen friend, Nefertiti Warren, thank you for being here. Mickey, who's on here as well. We appreciate you. My dear, dear sis, Barbara Hernandez, I love you. Shaka, my brother, I love you. Again, this is your Queens with Behind the Talk series. We will be back on Monday, and we are counting down the Kwanzaa principles. We're starting with Umoja, Unity, and Kujijakalia, self-determination. You're like, what are you talking about? What language? Kwanzaa. Come through on Monday, 6 p.m. We love y'all. Peace and blessings. Thank you. Thank you.